Hello YouTube, James Green, Short Series Shenanigans. On today's video, we are going to be working on a Shopsmith belt sander attachment. Now what happened is, I posted pictures of this up on Instagram. We were using the belt sander attachment, and again, this thing was made in this one was made in 1989 and has countless hours on it. So what happened was, we were using it, I have the zirconia belts on it, and we were cleaning up our stainless steel parts for our bolt gun build. So in the process of they just gave out. The belt quit turning and whatever. Anyway, we got it apart, cleaned up, or took it apart and found out this shaft is on the top where the adjustment goes for the cam lock wheel that helps tighten the belt. This is stainless steel. It's 5/8 tube. Okay. The pulley that's on the top is cast aluminum, and it's shaped as such. It's cone shaped, if you will, or not cone shaped. It's got a raised ridge in the middle basically to help grab, and anyway, it's cast aluminum. It has bushings that are in it. Now when I disassembled it and cleaned it up, I was able to polish this up. There were some score marks. They were mostly just very superficial, cleaned up really easily. Nothing major where we have to recreate this part. I'm going back with the original design for the simple fact that I had people mention, hey, why don't you try to put bearings and whatever. I'm not going to rebuild this, and the only way to do that would be to actually rebuild this whole hub out of a piece of material. Honestly, I've got some material. I could, but why reinvent the wheel? This thing has these bearings are original that are on the bottom. Now they have bearings on the bottom. I got them from VXB. This is the one that was giving the trouble. So I've already done one side. I'm going to do the other and show you. I haven't made them yet, but I've just bored it out. So you're going to see a little boring action. I ordered in some cord bronze material that has a 1/2 inch ID hole and 1 inch external diameter. So that'll get me where I need to be to create the bushings for this. I did have some other material, wasn't going to work. So we ordered some in, got it, and that stuff I know I've got other things around here, other projects, or correction, pieces of equipment. If I end up needing bushings, I've already got the material. So we're going to be doing that, and then on the other one I'm actually going to, you guys have seen me press stuff on and off together before, but this is going to be machining. We'll get the camera over, we're already set up, and we'll get started and show you what we got going on, because everyone likes to watch machining, and this is something new. So here we go. And especially if you have one of these and you have a problem, maybe this will kind of show you, hey, this is how I'm repairing mine, so hopefully it'll help you out on yours. Let me get the camera set here on the angle so we got a good view of everything. Alright, I'll leave you guys on a little bit of a wide view there. Come around here, we'll get started. Alright, so this mic's out to be 5/8 or just a little bit under, which is fine. So this is the side that I've already machined out. Now we went in there and we're just going to slowly bored out the first one, and we were able to get it out pretty much like that. It goes back in here approximately 1 inch, and you can see this is where it's kind of how it's shaped. It's cast aluminum, and here's the other side. Now you can see this one has been I don't know whether it was cast or who knows what, but this one's bent a little bit. So we were able to hold on here through this side of the 3-jaw. It may be a little difficult because of these aluminum pieces here. I don't know. I may have to machine those off, just get a grinder and grind those down to be able to get a good grip on here. Let's see. And I may actually, instead of doing that, let's just go out here. Well, actually, that's what I did on the other one. I was trying to hold in here and I couldn't, so I ended up holding it on the outside. And we're real careful. Again, we want to make sure we don't crush anything. So we're on this side this time. It's been a long day, long morning. So we're just making sure we're up here. And we're taking light cuts, and we're making sure that we don't crush anything. Don't want to over tighten. Let's give it a spin here and see where we're at. just a little bit, just because. Again, this isn't exactly smooth and round, and I could tell that whenever this was on the machine. And this has already been at one time, I think when someone had this before I did, it looks like, I don't know whether they were beating on here or something with a hammer, but some of this was already kind of egged to begin with, so I don't know if they had dropped it at one time. Well, that'll get us close enough to where we need to be to come in here and bore this out. There we go. We're just going to come in here with our D&M tool, D&MG. It acted like it was loose. Okay, I'm going to come in here, and this is one of the small boring bars. I've used this one before for getting in here, and we're going to come in here and just dig it out. And these go back in about 1 inch. Right about there. A little over. Move that back out of the way. Mess with anything. There we go. Alright. You know what? Let me get you guys a better angle so you can see kind of from the end of what's going on. I'm going to move a few things around here. The joy of being able to move buckets. Okay. Get you guys moved over here on this other set of buckets. Alright. Of course, that light has to be right in the way. Okay. Slide the buckets back just a little bit. Alright. Try to get you guys zoomed in on a good angle here so you can see what's going on. Get you some views of the action. There we go. Alright. Get a little air going here, blow this stuff back. And away we go. That'll help. There, you can see what's going on now. Just taking real light cuts to get this out. You always want to be careful when you're doing stuff like this, especially since this is kind of shaped oddly and you don't want to clamp too hard. You want to take light cuts. You get carried away trying to take cuts too big, and you can get yourself in a mess. Slow and steady wins the race. I knew we were getting close right there, so let me back out. I knew we were getting close. Right there close. I'm just going to come back by hand slowly because it's doing a light, because of tool pressure, a little bit of a light cut, and we're almost through. We're like right there. Right on. We are on it, doggone it. Okay, you can see where we just started to on that area right there. I'm going to really easily sneak up on it. See if I can peel it out. By hand. Real careful of it. Kind of sling it through there. Now, I know I've pulled a little aluminum off the back in there, no big deal. I think that's going to get it. Skim it. This should get it right here. Yep. There we go. Yeah, we skimmed it just a little bit on one side, but that's not a showstopper. Just pulled it a little bit, so there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and pull this out. Even though we skimmed the board just a little, it's going to be okay for what we're doing. And it just skimmed it on one side. Again, this thing doesn't, the speed that, for those of you that aren't familiar on a, let me get the camera straight here. For those of you that are not familiar with, on a Shocksmith, because I did skim this a little bit on one side here, it's really light and it's just like a shadow. I can feel it. Same thing, I just did a little bit on the front here, but that's not a showstopper. We got it out. These are bored back about an inch or so. We're going to make some 1-inch pieces. But on this, just out of curiosity to let you guys know, the way this is set on the speed, now I haven't put an RPM gauge on it, I need to, but the settings for the belt sander attachment set up on the Shopsmith are relatively low speed when I run it, because you can adjust the whole thing up and down. If you want to learn more, you can go to their website. And so what we did is we started off, let me go and get this other tool out first before we put the bar stock in. Take this out, blow this off, clean it up. Always keep a boring bar handy for stuff just like that. Now, because we're still creating more of these chips here, I was drilling stainless steel earlier today, so I was running flood coolant, so got things kind of stickiness going on, and all this goes into my local recycle. I don't generate enough to try to save up, you know, buckets to turn this into scrap, so it all goes into my city recycle program. Now if I was running a business and generating a lot, then yeah, I would. Otherwise, this stuff all goes in the chip pan, and it all goes in the recycle, and they, you know, it goes into the parks and recreation stuff. So that's kind of how I do my part to help fund the dog parks in the city of Albuquerque. I provide them with machining scrap. You blow this off. And so I'm okay with that. All right. All right. CNMG 433. These actually work pretty good on the brass for what we're doing. And this, other than we just did a real short, dressed up the end, faced it, and kind of peeled some of the top off, this was a 13-inch piece. And so let's go ahead and get this spun down here. This is how it comes. Pretty handy. We'll get this in here. Leave it out far enough. Now, my 1-inch collet for my 5C setup, because normally I would be running a 5C doing this. I got to looking. My 1-inch collet, and I just noticed this, is not any good. I've ordered one, so we went ahead and put the 3-jaw on here. Otherwise, normally, round stock, I'm a big fan of the 5C, and you guys know why. And we just did like a couple thousandths skim just to clean it up, kind of see. And you've still got the imprint marks here of how the machine manufactured it. So we know we're going to need at least a couple of 1-inch pieces. And so we're going to have to go down to a diameter of, and this is where I got the part here. Again, we're going to press fit this in. Let's get an approximate. Let's see, we are 8. And I'll get a snap gauge and measure this. But for right now, we'll get an approximate until we get down to 820 thousandths, which is about right. And this side is 815, so they're a little bit different. This is the side that I ended up pulling a bit off of. Let me go check here. So if I avoid that, yeah, we need to avoid where I accidentally removed some material. So let's check here. 815. Yeah, that's going to be a nice tight. We're not going to get it too super tight, but we're going to make sure it fits well. So we are at, our current diameter here is almost 1 inch, which we know. So we'll go ahead and slap a mic on it just so we know exactly where we're at. This is over 1 inch. 1 inch 34 thousandths. So there you go. It's actually over 1 inch. So we've got a bit to go. Let's go ahead and get set up. I found on my machine here running 460 RPMs does 99.999% of everything I need to do. It works great. So let's go ahead. We'll touch off. We'll get zeroed. We'll feed in. Go ahead and feed in 10 thousandths. Keeping the shavings from blowing all over the plate. Then we're going to come down here a ways because we're going to end up needing 2 1-inch pieces. That's where the DRO comes in handy. Okay. Put that in 10. Feed in 15 this time. And let her rip. Cranked in a lot there. Cranked in like 25,000. Go ahead and take a measurement kind of see where we're at with everything. And of course we know we're warm, and we'll let it cool down before we get down to our final size. So there we're 920 thousandths. Considerable more bit to go because we need to be down to, and we'll get a snap gauge and check the inside of this. Let's see, we're going to, what did we say, 815? Yeah, 815 thousandths. We're at 920. So we got about 100 thousandths to take off, approximately. Let's dial in another 20 thousandths. Let her rip. It's kind of one of these things I always do. We are now at 880, and we needed to be 815. Dial in another 12. Trying to account for tool pressure. And of course, we're going to let these cool down before we get down to our measurements, and we'll actually end up pressing these in. I'll go around to the side of the house and press them in with the press. And of course, we have to bore these out to size, fit the shaft, and we'll do another video. We'll show that. we'll show another video because we're actually gonna end up boring. I'll drill these and we'll get them close to 5/8, obviously under, and then I'm gonna get a little bitty boring bar I'm gonna set up, and we'll do some small internal boring. And see, we are at 858, 857, so there we go. Anyhow, so, because I'm just not going to keep showing the same stuff over and over, we'll get close. There will be a part 2 right after this. I'll get everything set up off camera, and we'll do some small, we'll drill first, we'll get close, and then we'll start again. We're going to let our material cool down, because my thing is we're going to end up be doing a press fit. I'm going to get it close on the internal bore, because I know as I press there may be some, and I'm not a really smart mathematician, we will say, but I know when we go to put it in that I'm sure there's going to be, to a certain point, some sort of compression, and the inside may shrink a little bit. So we'll get it close to the 5/8. I'll dig through, get my 5/8 reamers out, and so we can finish it to, or just under actually, so that we have a really smooth fit, because that shaft does have some wear. It is under 5/8, and I want to say it's 2.5 thousandths under. Now I do want to allow room for oil. You know, I did check it, and the reason I was replacing it because I checked, I had 1/1000th wear on one side and 2.5 thousandths on the other, and that's because as this sets in here, one side pivots and the other side is where you adjust your belt so it'll run straight and true. And on the top of that, because that's always pressing up against those bushings, the shaft had actually worn on the top. The shaft sits still and this rotates around it. So I want to try to get it as close as possible to make up for the wear in the old shaft. Again, this thing has been on there since 1989 when it was new. I'm the second owner of it, and so rather than reinvent the wheel, I'll go back with the new one, or the same stuff, and we'll kind of show you some new stuff what we got going on. Trying to get this fixed so we can get back on doing more bolt gun build parts. We're going to be doing some TIG welding. We finished up our crucibles, as a matter of fact. They're still cooling down. I did a bake-in, if you will. You can see them. They're still pretty warm. We got our table moved over, and yeah, they're still kind of warm. These were the lids that I got done. It's the reason I baked them to begin with was nothing, is to get rid of all of anything that, you know, there's still other stuff on there. But these are just the lids to locate them. They don't have to look pretty, because these things are going to be put in and out of the oven so many times and heat treated, or not heat treated, but used for color case hardening and stuff. And we'll go through and we'll clean them out, and, you know, just using what I had around. Had some angle iron. Again, it's just locating pins, and we ended up welding some tabs on the sides. That one's still pretty warm because that one just came out. What I did is I baked them at 1,000 degrees for 30 minutes to make sure I got junk off of them. Got them kind of good seasoned, I guess, if you will. So there you go. That'll work. And we look forward to showing you when I do some color case hardening. That'll be a separate video. So until the next video, here in just a little bit, we'll get set up. Take care of yourself and take care of family. Because remember, at the end of the day, your family is all you got. Talk to you later. Be safe. Bye-bye.